there guys, and welcome back to Jank Quest. Today we'll be talking about Paldea Evolved. It's going to be our second main set of the Scarlet and Violet era, comprised from the Japanese sets Triple Beat, Snow Hazard and Clayburst. It's going to be releasing on June 9th, with pre-release events starting from May 26th, so now seems like a good time to run through Jank Quest's top 10 cards from the set. And starting the list off at number 10 with Jet Energy. So this is a new special energy card that provides a switching ability. It has to be attached to your bench Pokemon from hand, so sorry to all those Archeops players out there, but once attached you switch that bench Pokemon with your active. So this is going to be great in certain decks that require a lot of switching mechanics. Lost Zone decks utilising Comfy for example. You can then proceed to discard the energy for an additional switch. My only concern or drawback with this card is drawing into it when it's needed, and the special energy search is currently pretty limited. Number 9 in the list, we've got Superior Energy Retrieval. So this is a reprinted card that has previously seen large amounts of play in past formats, and this allows you to discard 2 cards from hand to put 4 basic energy cards from your discard pile back into your hand. Not only is this great for thinning your hand out if you're able to utilise the energy you retrieve, allowing you to utilise draw supporters such as Bibarel and Retrieval, it will also allow consistent energy attachments each turn and fuel any ability that requires an energy to be discarded, such as the previously mentioned Retrieval, Radiant Greninja, Radiant Blastoise, Inteleon VMAX and Meowscarada EX, to name but a few. So moving on to number 8 in the list, we're looking at Artisan. So this is a great new stadium that's going to be loved by many decks for its setup potential. This allows you to, once during your turn, search your deck for a basic Pokemon without a rule box and put it on your bench. So apologies to V's, EXs and Radiants, but this will complement a variety of decks that utilise setup cards already, such as Battle VIP Past and Nest Ball, making that selection decision a lot easier, especially when the meta curves towards more Stage 2 decks now. As always though, just be wary that as a stadium your opponent can also use its effect. Coming in at number 7, we've got Charm of Courage, which is a great new tool card, remembering that they're now their own classification as well. What we have here is basically a reprint of Cape of Toughness. It increases the HP of a basic Pokemon it's attached to by 50 HP, ultimately allowing the weaker Pokemon like basic Vs and EXs to become less of a liability by taking them out of the one-hit KO range. I think this is a great new addition that I'm sure we'll see a lot of play. Coming in at number 6, we've got Spiritomb, who may be here to deliver the last nail in the coffin for Mew VMAX. Its ability, Pitch Black Doom, happily sits on the bench and turns off the abilities of all basic Pokemon V. So thinking for your Genesect Vs, Fusion Strike system, all the legendary beasts, Fleet-footed ability, or even Lumineon V's Luminous Sign on entry. The list is endless and this card truly has some great potential. Now unfortunately this does include your own, so you'll need to be careful how you use it. But for 1 colourless energy, its Fade Out attack will deliver 10 damage but return Spiritomb back to your hand, making it easily teched into any deck. Number 5, we've got Tingloo EX, one of the 4 Treasures of Ruin legendaries from Paldea, and also one of the booster pack artwork Pokemon from the set. This comes with a Cursed Ground ability, providing that Tingloo is in the active, your opponent's Pokemon with any damage counters on them have no abilities except for Pokemon EX. This is a fantastic ability that can completely shut down decks by removing their abilities. Think about combining this with Hawlucha from Scarlet and Violet base set, who with its Flying Entry ability allows you to place 1 damage counter on 2 bench Pokemon when it's played from your hand to your bench. Then Tingloo's attack, Land Scoop, hits for 150 damage, but more importantly lets you put 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's bench Pokemon, presenting the opportunity to shut off another ability with Cursed Ground. Number 4, we have Super Rod, which is another reprinted card, but it's going to bring some much needed recovery options to many decks. This allows you to shuffle free in any combination of Pokemon, so not just basic Pokemon but any Pokemon, and basic energy cards from your discard pile into your deck. Being an item card, it will also potentially free up your supporter card for turn by replacing cards that are currently being used, such as Clara and Miriam. I can see this being a staple in almost every deck moving forward, and it can also be found easily as a one-of by the likes of Irida and Arven. Number 3, we're cheating a little bit here and we're going to look at Chien EX and Baxcalibur, so let me explain. Chien is another treasure of Ruin Legendary, like Tingloo, and like Tingloo is also on the booster pack artwork. But Chien also has a legendary ability to match it, and that is Trembling Cold. So this ability allows you to utilise it as a capacious bucket in effect. So it'll allow you to search your deck once during your turn for up to 2 basic water energy cards, reveal them, put them into your hand and shuffle your deck, providing that Chien is in the active spot. Now what's interesting to note here is that this is not limited to once per turn but once per Chien, meaning if you have 4 Chien out and a means to switch them, you can retrieve up to 8 basic water energy per turn. So what are you going to do with them? Well, Chien has an attack, Hail Blizzard, which lets you discard up to any number of basic water energy from any of your Pokemon and does 60 damage for each energy discarded in that way, meaning that for 8 discarded water energy that you've previously searched out, you can potentially hit for 360, which is enough to KO anything in the game currently. Now this may all sound good, but how do you get the energy on? So this is where we talk about Baxcalibur. With its ability Absolute Zero, it allows you to, as often as you like during your turn, attach a basic water energy from your hand to one of your Pokemon. This is a spiritual successor of Frosmoth from the base set in Sword and Shield, whose Ice Dance allowed you to attach as many basic water energy during your turn as you like, but only to your bench water Pokemon. We all knew how good Frosmoth was, but this makes Baxcalibur phenomenal and allows us to power up the board to utilise Chien at Hail Blizzard attack. Now there are a couple of issues, mainly with Baxcalibur as a stage 2, however we have Irida in the format at the moment, meaning that on turn 2 we can grab Baxcalibur and a rare candy and we're good to go with this combination. Now, I can personally see Chien and Baxcalibur being a deck that sees huge amounts of play, which is already emerging to be the case in Japan. So at number 2 we have Squawkabilly EX. First we had Dedenne, then Crobat, then Luminion, and we're following up with Squawkabilly. So every so often what the Pokemon Company do is they gift us with a draw support Pokemon of some description, and with the introduction of Scarlet and Violet that's no exception. Squawkabilly's EX lively draw ability allows you to discard your hand and draw 6, however this can be done on your first turn and only 1 lively draw ability can be used during your turn. So this has got people talking, as there's a downside that this can't be used after your first turn. However, it may be better than previous draw support as this ability can be used at a chosen time from the bench rather than when it's played like Crobat or Luminion were, meaning you can grab this with Nest Ball or VIP Pass. This means you can safely bench it, play your hand first, and then use the ability at a time during your turn that suits you, to reload your hand and continue your turn. Also, if you start with Squawkabilly, it's attack for a single colourless energy. Although it only hits for 20, it will allow you to search your discard pile for 2 basic energy and attach them to one of your Pokemon, which is more than possible with the setup potential that lively draw ability gives you. So, if you hadn't guessed it already, at number 1, here it is, Iono. Our only supporter pick, and with good reason. For those of you that are still hung up on the loss of Marnie to rotation, with Judge not quite filling that void, then look no further. Iono has been dubbed the fusion of Marnie and an older supporter card from back in 2011 that has been fondly missed by players, which is N. As a quick recap for everyone who may not be familiar, Marnie made both players shuffle their hand and place it at the bottom of their deck, then you draw 5 and your opponent draws 4. This was fantastic disruption and draw support, as if you had a dead hand and you knew you wouldn't be able to draw into it again, if you knew your opponent's hand was potentially threatening, you knew that they couldn't draw back into those cards either. N, on the other hand, made both players shuffle their hand into their deck, then each player draws a card for each prize card remaining. This allowed for great swings in plays if you're on the back foot. So what does Iono do? Well, both players shuffle their hand and put them on the bottom of their deck, similar to Marnie. Then they draw a card for each of their prize cards remaining in a similar fashion to N, giving us the best of both worlds. Fantastic draw support early game, disruption to your opponent's hand at any point, and a brilliant comeback option should you fail behind in the prize card race. Being able to limit your opponent's hand size at the same time as putting what could have been a potentially game-winning hand to the bottom of their deck and escaping your own dead hand is brilliant. We expect to see this become a staple in every deck. And that concludes our top 10 picks from Paldea Evolved. We hope you enjoyed the video, and if you haven't already, as always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.